Hi, future educators. Let me share with you Acts 4:12. Salvation is found in no one else, for there is no other name under heaven given to mankind by which we must be saved. Again, that's Acts 4:12. Okay, you may mute the video if you're a visual learner. Please note that this is not a comprehensive guide and there is no guarantee that the same questions will appear on your actual exam. Use this video as a supplement to your broader study plan. Keep that brain sharp. The real goal is to build your knowledge and critical thinking skills. This is a sample of the examination answer sheet. As you can see, it's a multiple choice type of test. Number 1, the Department of Education's Matatag agenda focuses on enhancing competencies and addressing learning poverty. While its predecessor, K-12, was critiqued for its implementation gaps, Matatag seeks to reform the foundational aspects of basic education. What philosophical stance most strongly justifies this type of cyclical needs-based curriculum reform? A. Essentialism, by emphasizing the timeless, unchanging core knowledge. B. Perennialism, by focusing on eternal truths and wisdom. C. Progressivism, by advocating for an evolving curriculum responsive to societal needs. D. Essentialism, by prioritizing individual choice and freedom. Answer is C. Progressivism, by advocating for an evolving curriculum responsive to societal needs. A public school teacher refuses to join a new school-led feeding program, citing administrative inefficiencies and potential misuse of funds. The school head cites the Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers, particularly Article 4, which mandates cooperation with school authorities. Which nuanced interpretation allows the teacher's action to align with professional ethics? A. The teacher's duty to report inefficiency outweighs the duty to cooperate. B. The code does not apply to non-instructional programs like feeding programs. C. The teacher's action is an exercise of academic freedom, which covers school-related activities. D. A teacher has a professional and ethical obligation to ensure that school programs are effective and corruption-free, requiring a critical approach rather than blind compliance. Answer is D. A teacher has a professional and ethical obligation to ensure that school programs are effective and corruption-free, requiring a critical approach rather than blind compliance. The 1987 Philippine Constitution mandates that the state shall promote and protect the right of all citizens to quality education at all levels. Which landmark law passed after the 1987 Constitution significantly redefined the governance structure of basic education to decentralize power and empower school-level stakeholders? A. Republic Act 9155, B. Republic Act 7796, C. Republic Act 7722, or D. Republic Act 10533. Answer is A. Republic Act 9155 or the Governance of Basic Education Act. The K-12 program senior high school tracks academic, tech voc, sports, arts, and design were designed to provide specialized skills and make graduates more employable. Which educational philosophy did this particular design or did this curricular design primarily draw from? A. Idealism, for its focus on preparing students for abstract thought. B. Realism, for its emphasis on practical, observable skills. C. Perennialism, for its adherence to liberal arts and classic studies. Or D. Essentialism, for its back-to-basics approach. Answer is B. Realism, for its Emphasis on practical, observable skills. During the Commonwealth period in the Philippines, education was primarily focused on nation building and citizenship. Which of the following is the most accurate description of the underlying educational goal? A. To assimilate Filipino culture with American values. B. To indigenize Western education for local context. Or C. To inculcate patriotism and civic responsibility. Or D. To standardize education across all socioeconomic classes. Answer is C. To inculcate patriotism and civic responsibility. An educator argues that the Filipino concept of kapwa should be the core of moral and values education. To effectively integrate this into the curriculum, which foundational principle must be applied? A. The philosophical principle of essentialism to instill common virtues. B. The sociological principle of functionalism to ensure social cohesion. C. The psychological principle of humanism to develop the whole person. Or D. The pedagogical principle of constructivism through reflective group activities. Answer is D. The pedagogical principle of constructivism through reflective group activities. A modern Philippine education trend is the integration of indigenous peoples' culture and history into the curriculum. This is a direct response to a critique of the traditional system that viewed education through a predominantly Manila-centric lens. Which educational foundation does this address? A. Psychological foundation by focusing on the unique cognitive styles of IP learners. B. The historical foundation by correcting historical inaccuracies about IP communities. Or C. The sociological foundation by promoting cultural pluralism and social justice. Or D. The philosophical foundation by adopting a pragmatic approach to local contexts. Answer is C. The sociological foundation by promoting cultural pluralism and social justice. In the context of the Philippine education system, what is the most significant consequence of the trifocalization of the education sector? DepEd, CHED, TESDA, under different laws. A. It ensures all levels of education have standardized uniform curricula. B. It promotes greater autonomy and specialization at each educational level. Or C. It has created a disjointed system with overlapping functions and inconsistent policies. Or D. It has resulted in a more efficient use of resources and better interagency collaboration. Answer is B. It promotes greater autonomy and specialization at each educational level. Next, the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013 or RA 1055 introduced the senior high school program. A persistent challenge has been the mismatch between senior high school program, specializations, and available jobs. What educational theory or philosophy is most directly challenged by this issue? A. Social reconstructionism, as education is failing to solve social problems. Or D. B. Perennialism, as the curriculum lacks foundational knowledge. Or C. Behaviorism, as the outcomes are not being reinforced. Or D. Pragmatism, as education is failing to connect theory to practical application. Answer is D. Pragmatism, as education is failing to connect theory to practical application. That's all for today, and God bless us all.